What's up? This is Nick, head coach of Cerulean City Psyducks, doing a commentary today for the match between the Cianwood Magikarps and the Viridian City Volcaronas. So we see Mike right there on the screen. He starts off with his Jirachi, real fucking surprise because he does it all the time, and it's shiny of course because he thinks he's cool, I don't know. And then we got Ophelia coming out from Greg over there. So we got two little legendaries just floating around. Stealth Rock set up on one side, and Jirachi comes blasting out with his own Stealth Rock, so everybody's getting them rocks off today. So we got a whole bunch of stones floating in the air, some little wavy-tailed things, and Ophelia goes for the U-turn since it is faster. It does go first. It's got 15 higher base speed, and it goes back to Greg. And now he brings out Malice, his Mawile. She takes a little bit of Stealth Rock's damage because they're all over the fucking place now, and hits Jirachi with that Intimidate, which is a good move because it is a physical attacker from Mike most of the time. So that U-turn does, what was that, 3 damage? Something stupid like that. Not much. And now we get Patrick Starfish coming out. And he's taking that Stealth Rock's damage as well. We're going to see a whole lot of that the rest of this match. And Malice leaves instantly because its special defense is not that great. So in comes Bailey's, the Delmise, the grass ghost Pokemon. He's cool and new. And he takes this Thunderbolt pretty friggin' well. He's got not very effective, plus I'm assuming he's fairly bulky. And for some reason Mike goes for another Thunderbolt, maybe hoping to get a Paralysis? Not sure. But then he just gets smashed in the face with a Shadow Claw and destroyed. So, not sure what Mike was going for there with that, but it's dead. So then he brings in Arrow 404. It's good old Porygon Z. Those Stealth Rocks chipping away a little bit more. And he goes for the Ice Beam, just trying to get that kill right away. And it does not kill. It takes him down to the red, but not enough. And that Shadow Claw came out. I'm assuming they were expecting the Z conversion to Ghost type that Mike usually does. But not today. So you got some more Stealth Rocks damage, another Ice Beam, which is going to be resisted very muchly. So yeah, like 20 damage. Useless attack. So Mike withdraws his Porygon Z because there's no point in staying out doing pretty much no damage, and brings in Garfunkel, his Garchomp, which does have the Mega Stone, and he also blocks that electric attack, so nice moves. And then Earthquakes into a Levitator. I'm not entirely sure why. But then we get a Hidden Power coming out, and boom! Huge damage on that Garfunkel. So Mike withdraws again, kind of just backpedaling. And of course, here's this tried and true strategy. If I can't kill it, let's just bring in my Ditto and take over its body. So Imposter goes up. Now Mike has a Rotom Wash. Ooh! So another Hidden Power comes out, and it does pretty much nothing. So very heavily resisted. Deluge switches back, and then we get Bailey's coming out again. And as we saw, ooh, takes some Stealth Rock damage. Even though he will probably resist this special attack, and it's not very effective, it's still enough to just clear him out and finish him off. Also, it gives Mike that chance to bring his Ditto back, so that it's not dying instantly. And now he brings out Simon, probably the MVP on his team so far. This Togekiss takes heavy damage from the Stealth Rocks, but does recover with its leftovers, because it's fairly bulky, but hard to take down, and he can kill things pretty well. So Malice comes out back out. You're going to get that attack drop with its Intimidate. It will be helpful because, maybe not. Well, actually, the special attacks from this Togekiss usually would be resisted, but switches out anyways, brings Flubber back in, because hey, you know what? My Pokemon suck, so I'm going to bring in one that copies yours, because yours are better. Whatever. And then he does get that Intimidate. And since they're both Intimidators and whatever it is where you can't get your attack drop. So he goes Mega, gets that huge power ability. So, I mean, he is at a -1, but huge power does balance it out a little bit. And goes for that Thunder Punch, which does a very hefty chunk of damage and gets the Paralysis. So, that was a nice little thing of luck going on right there. So, switches out Malice, because no reason to keep it out there if you can bring in something that heavily resists whatever it might throw out. So some Stones Dig in and a Fire Fang. So we have Fire Fang and Thunder Punch out of those Mawwiles. And, of course, he withdraws Flubber again because he doesn't want it to die. Arrow 404 comes back in. And let's see what happens. So, Deluge goes for the Hydro Pump, and it misses. High power, chancy accuracy move, so it's the risk you gotta take. And in comes Knave, the Crocodile, who has stereotypically been a scarfed attacker most of these fights, but I don't know how much that'll help him out in this battle. So Porygon Z does do the Z conversion. Look at it go, turning into, as we see, Ghost type, what he loves to do. So Knockoff comes out and just, yeah, heavy damage. Can't knock off the Z-Zone, so it didn't get maximum damage. But then the Ice Beam comes back with that +1, it's enough to just kill Knave outright. So that all those +1s with the Z conversion are very deadly, gives him some more bulk, some more damage, and some more speed, so it makes him very dangerous, but he's not Ghost type, and you just get one little Sucker Punch coming out from this huge power Mega Mawile, and you just die. That's just how it goes. So down goes Arrow 404. He is no longer found. And back in comes the Garfunkel, drops down into the red because of the Stealth Rocks, and it's not a very good matchup for him, especially since the Sucker Punches are just enough to just kill things really, really easily. So they are Rough Skin, does a little bit of damage, but it really doesn't matter at this point because this thing can just go on a fucking killing spree. So Simon comes back in, and I assume, after that heavy damage, I think Malice is going to leave. Nope, stays in, and Heal Bell goes off, I guess, to get rid of that paralysis on Flubber, because he needs to be very fast to be effective. And a Thunder Punch comes out and just takes out the Togekiss Simon, because you can't beat that huge power. And hey, what do you know, Flubber comes back out. I'm pretty sure it's his last Pokemon, as well as what I've said before. My Pokemon aren't that great, so I'm just going to copy yours and get cool, awesome, strong Pokemon. And now we get in a weird situation where Flubber uses Sucker Punch to hit the Sucker Punch coming from the actual Mawile. It's confusing, but whatever happens. Another Sucker Punch comes out of Flubber, but this time instead of going for Sucker Punch, Malice goes for Fire Fang just to clean that up and kill him finally. So down goes the Flubber, no more copy-pasting. Sorry, bruh. And in comes Jirachi, taking a little bit of Stone's damage. Not much because it's resisted because Steel type. But it's pretty much got to attack. I mean, I guess he just wanted to bait for that Sucker Punch, which I guess worked. So Sucker Punch comes out again, and down goes the Jirachi because weakness due to its Psychic type. So there you go. That's the match. Mike just could not copy Greg's Pokemon enough to get the victory. So we didn't even see the likes of Roserade coming out, who was one of the ones sitting in the backfield. But there we go. We've got Greg winning that one, and he then, after that victory, goes up to 6-5, and Mike drops down to 4-7. So that's where we're at. Hope you stick around for next week's battle. Goodbye.